My wife, I love you. But you owe me these 4 things. And before I tell you what those 4 things are, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now. Put down your phone for a second, or actually, hold it closer. Because what I'm about to say to you, I've been holding inside for so long, and today I just can't keep it to myself anymore. You know that moment when you love someone so deeply that the words just get stuck in your throat. When you open your mouth to say something and nothing comes out. Not because you don't feel it, but because you feel it too much. That's where I've been living. For months. Maybe longer. Just standing in this quiet space inside my chest. Full of everything I want to say to you, and somehow, never finding the right moment. But today is that moment. Today, I'm choosing you. I'm choosing honesty. I'm choosing to be vulnerable in a way that scares me a little, if I'm being real with you. Because the truth is, loving you has taught me things about myself I never expected to learn, and somewhere in the middle of all of it, I realized something. Something that I think you deserve to hear. So let me start at the beginning. Not the very beginning, because if I go back that far, we'll be here all night. But let me start at the part that matters most. The part where I understood, for the first time, what it actually means to love a woman the way you deserve to be loved. I remember the first time I truly looked at you. Not just saw you, but really looked. It was an ordinary day. Nothing special was happening. You weren't dressed up, you weren't trying to impress anyone. You were just you. And something inside me went completely still. Like the whole world paused for 1 second, just long enough for me to realize, this woman in front of me is extraordinary, and she has absolutely no idea. That's the thing about you that gets me every single time. You carry so much, you do so much. You hold everything together with these quiet, steady hands, and you never once ask for applause. You don't do it for credit. You do it because that's just who you are. And I've watched you do it day after day, and I've thought to myself, does she know? Does she actually know what she means to me? I hope she does. But just as in case she doesn't, I'm here to tell you, now, about those 4 things. I'm not saying you owe me in the way that sounds cold. I'm not keeping score. That's not the kind of love I have for you. But there are 4 things, 4 real honest things, that I need from you. Things that if you gave them to me, would make me feel complete in a way I don't even fully have words for yet. And I'm going to tell you all 4 of them, I promise. But first, I need you to understand something about the way I love you. I love you in a way that doesn't always look like love from the outside. I know that. Sometimes I go quiet when I should speak. Sometimes I get caught up in my own head, in my own worries, in the weight of trying to be enough for you. And I forget to show you what's happening on the inside. I forget to turn the light on so you can see in. And I know that must feel lonely sometimes. I know it must make you wonder. And for that, I'm sorry, genuinely. Because you have never once made me wonder. You have always shown up. Even when I didn't deserve it. Even when I was difficult. Even when I was the version of myself I'm least proud of. You stayed. And you stayed softly, without weapons. Without punishment. Just with love. Do you know how rare that is? I've been thinking about this for a long time. About what it means to be truly, completely seen by another person. Not the version of yourself you present to the world. The polished one. The confident one. The one that has it all figured out. But the real version. The one that lies awake at 2 a.m. with thoughts racing. The one that sometimes doubts everything. The one that gets scared and sad and overwhelmed in ways they'd never admit out loud. That version. The one that usually stays hidden. You've seen that version of me, and you didn't flinch. You didn't look away, you just held space for me, quietly, lovingly. Like it was the most natural thing in the world, to love someone completely, including the broken parts. And I think that's why I need these 4 things from you. Not because I'm ungrateful, but because I'm so deeply, fully in this with you, that I want more of you. I want all of you. I want the things you haven't given me yet. The things maybe you didn't even know I was waiting for. The first thing I need from you is your trust. Not the surface kind. Not the kind that says I believe you when things are easy. I need the deep kind. The kind that holds on even when things look confusing. Even when I make a decision that doesn't make sense to you right away. Even when I'm quiet and you can't tell what I'm thinking. I need you to trust that I am always, always on your side. that everything I do with you in mind. That even in my worst moments, you are the reason I keep trying. Because here's the thing about trust, and I know you know this, it's not something you give once. It's something you choose every single day. And some days it's easy. And some days it takes everything you have. And the days when it's hard, those are the days it matters most. Those are the days when trust is the only thing standing between us and distance. And I don't want distance. I never want distance from you. I would rather sit in the discomfort of honesty than exist in the comfort of silence between us. So I'm asking you, trust me, not blindly, not without question, but trust that my heart is yours. Trust that I mean what I say, even when I struggle to say it. Trust that this, us, is the thing I protect most fiercely in my life. Can you do that for me? I know, that's a big ask. And maybe I haven't always made it easy. Maybe there have been times when my actions left you with more questions than answers. Maybe there have been moments when you looked at me and thought, I don't know where he is right now. I don't know what he's feeling. And that uncertainty, I imagine it felt like standing outside in the cold, looking in through a window at something warm, and not being able to get in. I never wanted that for you. I want you inside. Always. I want you to be the one who knows me completely. So that brings me to the second thing I need from you. And this one might surprise you a little. The second thing I need is your honesty, even when it hurts me. Maybe especially when it hurts me. I know. That sounds strange coming from me, because I know I haven't always made it easy for you to be honest with me. I know that sometimes when you've tried to tell me something difficult, I've gotten defensive, or I've gone quiet in that way that shuts the conversation down. And I hate that about myself. I really do. 'Cause what I actually want, what I've always wanted, is for you to tell me everything. The things that bother you. The things that scare you. The things I do that make you feel small or unseen or unheard. I want all of it. I want the full picture. Because here's what I've learned about love, the real kind, the lasting kind. It doesn't protect itself from hard conversations. It runs toward them. It says, tell me, even if it hurts. Even if it changes something. Tell me, because I would rather know than live in a beautiful lie. I don't want a beautiful lie with you. I want a beautiful truth. Even if the truth is complicated. Even if the truth means we have to sit with something uncomfortable for a while. I want real. With you, I only ever want real. So please, be honest with me. Tell me when I've hurt you. Tell me when you need more. Tell me when you're scared or tired or feeling alone even when I'm right there. Tell me, and I promise, I will listen. Not to defend myself, not to explain it away, but to understand, to actually understand, because you deserve a man who hears you, not just the words, but the feeling underneath the words. The thing you're really trying to say when you say, I'm fine. The thing you're really asking for when you go quiet. I want to be that man for you. I want to get better at reading you, at knowing you, at showing up for the version of you that doesn't always say what she needs out loud. And I can only do that if you let me in. If you trust me enough to be fully honest. Even when it's scary. Even when you're not sure how I'll react. Be honest with me anyway. Because I love you. All of you. And that includes the parts of you that aren't sure I can handle the truth. I can handle it. I want to handle it. I want to be worthy of your honesty. Now, the third thing. This one is the softest of all four. And it's the one I've thought about the most. In those quiet moments when everything else goes still, and it's just me and my thoughts and the ache of wanting to be close to you. The third thing I need from you is your presence. Not your time, although I love your time, but your presence. The specific, irreplaceable feeling of you actually being here. With me. In the moment we're in. Not half here, thinking about the next thing on the list. Not physically here, but mentally 1,000 miles away. Here. Fully. With me. I know that sounds like a simple thing, but it's actually the rarest gift a person can give. Because we live in a world that is constantly pulling us in 10 directions at once. There's always something demanding our attention, something urgent, something louder, something flashing and pinging and needing us right now. And it's so easy to be together and still be apart, to share a room and still be alone, to look at each other and still not really see. I've felt that. I think we've both felt that. And every time I feel it, there's this quiet ache. Not anger, not resentment, just longing. This deep, bone-level longing to just be with you. For you to look at me like nothing else exists for a minute. For us to have a conversation that isn't about logistics or responsibilities, or what needs to happen next. A conversation that's just about us, about how we feel, about what we're dreaming about the small, beautiful, ordinary things that we sometimes forget to notice, because life moves so fast. I want to slow down with you. I want to sit across from you with nowhere to be, and nothing to do, and just exist together for a little while. I want to hear you laugh, not the polite laugh, but the real one, the one that catches you off guard, the one you can't control. I want to watch you when you don't know I'm watching, and feel that same thing I felt the very first time I truly looked at you. That stillness, that awe, that quiet, oh, it's you, because it's always you. In every version of my life, in every moment that matters, it's you. So give me your presence. When we're together, be together. Put the noise down for a little while, and just be here with me. Because, I promise you, there is nowhere else I would rather be than right here, right now, with you. And then there's the fourth thing. I've been building up to this one, because it's the one that feels the most tender to say out loud, the one that makes me feel most exposed. But I think that's exactly why I have to say it. Because the things that scare us to say, those are usually the things that need to be said the most. The fourth thing I need from you is your belief in me, your belief in us, your belief that even on the days when everything feels hard and nothing seems to be working, and we're both tired and frustrated and maybe a little lost, that you still believe we're worth it, that I'm worth it, that what we have is worth fighting for, worth choosing, worth all of it. I know that belief takes work. I know that sometimes I make it harder to believe in me than it should be. I know there are days when I fall short, days when I promise things I struggle to deliver, days when I'm not the man I want to be for you, when I can see the disappointment in your eyes, and I feel it in my chest like a weight I can't lift. I know those days are real, but I also know this. I am trying. Every single day I am trying. In ways you might not always see, in quiet, invisible ways. In the worrying I do at 3 a.m. so you can sleep. In the decisions I make that are always about making a better life for us. In the way I think about you constantly, even when I don't say it, even when I should say it and I don't. I'm trying, I'm growing, I'm becoming slowly, imperfectly, but genuinely, I'm becoming a better man because of you. And I need you to believe that, even on the hard days, maybe especially on the hard days, I need you to look at me, this flawed, complicated, deeply feeling man who loves you more than he usually knows how to say, and believe that he's trying, that he's going to keep trying, that the love between you is not fragile, that it can hold weight, that it can survive the hard seasons. Because I believe that about you. Without question, without reservation. I believe in you. I believe in your strength, in your goodness, in your beauty that goes so much deeper than what anyone can see. I believe in your dreams. I believe in your capacity to love, even when loving is difficult. I believe you are one of the most extraordinary people I have ever known. And that being chosen by you, being loved by you, is the greatest privilege of my life. I just need you to believe in me the same way. And I realize, as I'm saying all of this, as I'm laying out these 4 things, that maybe what I'm really saying is something much simpler. Maybe what I'm really asking for is just you, all of you, the trusting version and the honest version and the fully present version and the version that still believes in us. I'm asking for the whole of you, in all the ways you're able to give, because I am wholly, completely, irreversibly yours. Do you know what it's like to love someone the way I love you? To have someone become so woven into the fabric of your daily life that you can't remember what the quiet felt like before them. I used to have a quieter life before you, and I thought that quiet was peace. I thought that stillness was contentment. I thought I was fine, and then you arrived, and everything changed, and I realized that what I had before wasn't peace. It was just the absence of something I didn't yet know I was missing. And now that I know, now that I've felt what it's like to be truly, deeply known by you, I could never go back to that emptiness. I wouldn't survive it, honestly. Not because I'm weak, but because once you've been this full, empty is unbearable. You fill me up, in ways I can't quantify, in ways that happen in the smallest moments. The way you say my name when you're half asleep, the way you reach for my hand without thinking about it, like it's just the natural thing for your hand to do. The way you laugh at your own jokes before you've even finished telling them. The way you care for the people you love, fiercely, completely, without holding anything back. I watch you love people, and it is one of the most beautiful things I have ever witnessed. And I think, does she know that she does that? Does she know how it looks from the outside, watching her love? Does she know that it makes me want to be better? That it makes me want to deserve her more every single day? I hope you know. I hope some part of you, in the quietest place inside yourself, already knows how seen you are, how adored, how utterly, completely irreplaceable. I remember one specific night. I don't know if you remember it the same way I do. It was late. We were both tired. Nothing dramatic had happened. No big moment. No milestone. We were just lying there in the dark, and you said something. Something small. Something that probably didn't feel significant to you in the moment. But I heard it. And it hit me right in the center of my chest, like a key turning in a lock. And I thought, this is it. This is the person. This is the one I want to still be lying next to when we're old and gray and all the noise of the world has gone quiet around us. I never told you that, but I'm telling you now, because I think we don't say enough of these things while we still can. We think we'll get to it. We think there will be a better moment, a more appropriate time. A day when the kids are asleep and the dishes are done and there are no emails waiting and the stars are aligned just right. And then the days keep going and the perfect moment never comes and suddenly years have passed and the things we meant to say are still just sitting there, waiting. I don't want to wait anymore. I don't want to be the person who meant to say it but never did. I don't want you to spend a single day wondering whether you are loved, whether you matter. Whether the life you're building, the love you're giving, the sacrifices you're making, whether any of it is seen. It is seen. You are seen. By me. Completely. I see the mornings when you're exhausted but you get up anyway. I see the times you swallow your own feelings to make room for everyone else's. I see the way you worry about the people you love. The specific, particular way you carry other people's pain in your body like it's your own. I see the effort you put into the small things that no one notices but everyone benefits from. I see all of it. And I am in awe of you, every single day, whether I say so or not. But I want to say so more. That's something I'm working on. Being more vocal. Letting the love that lives inside me find its way out more often. Because I know that love unexpressed is like a gift you bought and never gave. What good is it sitting there? What good is it if you never know? So consider this me unwrapping everything I've been holding. Consider this me handing it all to you with both hands. Open. Honest. Scared a little, yes. But more than anything else, certain. More certain than I've ever been about anything. You are the one I choose. Every morning when I open my eyes. Every night when I close them. In every version of my life that I can imagine. You are there. You are the constant. You are the thing that makes the rest of it make sense. And I know there are things between us that are still unfinished. Conversations we've started and not finished. Wounds that haven't fully healed. Silences that still carry weight. I know we are not a perfect story. I know there are chapters that were hard to get through. And I know that some of those chapters, some of that difficulty, has been because of me. Because of the ways I fall short. Because of the walls I sometimes build without meaning to. Because of the version of me that is still learning, still growing, still figuring out how to love you the way you deserve. But I want you to know something about those imperfect chapters. About the hard ones. About the nights that ended in silence, or the mornings that started with distance. I want you to know that even in those moments, especially in those moments, I was never not in love with you. I was never looking for a way out. I was never choosing anything over you. I was just lost sometimes, caught in my own maze, struggling to find the words or the courage or the clarity to bridge the space between us. I always wanted to come back to you. I always did, and I always will. That is the promise underneath all of this. Underneath the four things, underneath the confession, underneath everything I've said today. The promise is this. I am not going anywhere. I am here. I am committed to you, to us, to the life we are making together with all its beautiful mess. I am committed to growing, to trying, to saying more of the things I feel instead of keeping them locked up where they can't reach you. I am committed to making sure you never, ever have to wonder. Because you deserve certainty. You deserve a love that feels like solid ground, not like standing on something that might shift. You deserve someone who shows up, really shows up, not just in the grand gestures, but in the daily, ordinary, quiet moments. In the Tuesday afternoons, and the rainy mornings, and the hard weeks and the boring evenings. In all of it. I want to show up in all of it. And I know I asked you for 4 things today. Trust, honesty, presence, belief. But let me be clear about something. I'm not asking you to give me these things because I've earned them. I'm asking because I want to earn them. I'm asking because I see what's possible between us when we're both fully in. When there's no holding back, no guarding, no half measures. I've tasted that. And I want more of it. I want all of it. I want a love so full and so real and so completely ours that it becomes the thing we're most proud of. Not what we accomplished, not what we built or bought or achieved, but this. Us. The way we loved each other. That's the legacy I want. That's the story I want to tell when we're old. That we loved each other completely. That we chose each other on the easy days and the hard ones. That we were honest with each other even when it was scary. That we showed up fully for the life we were building together. That we didn't waste a single day not saying the things that needed to be said. Starting with today. Starting with this. And there's more I want to say to you. So much more. Because there's a part of this I haven't gotten to yet. A part of the story that I think you need to hear. Something that happened. Something that changed the way I understand love. And what it really costs. And what it really gives back. Something that I've never told anyone. Something that I've been carrying around quietly, waiting for the right moment to let it out. I think about the night everything became clear to me. And I want to tell you about it honestly, the way I promised I would. Without dressing it up, without making myself look better than I was in that moment. Just the truth, exactly as it happened, exactly as I felt it. It was a night like any other night from the outside. Nothing was visibly wrong, the house was quiet. The world was doing its ordinary thing. But inside me, inside this chest that I usually keep so guarded, so controlled, there was a storm happening. One of those silent storms that nobody sees, but you can feel in every single cell of your body. The kind that doesn't make noise. The kind that just sits there, heavy and pressing, like something is waiting to break open. I remember sitting alone, just sitting, and thinking about you. Not in a romantic way in that moment, not the soft glowing way I usually think about you when I let myself go there. This was different. This was the kind of thinking that hurts. The kind where you start asking yourself the honest questions. The questions you usually avoid because the answers are uncomfortable. And because looking at yourself clearly, without any flattering light, is one of the hardest things a person can do. And the question I kept asking myself, over and over in that quiet, was this. Am I actually giving her what she needs? Not what I think she needs. Not what's convenient for me to give. But what she actually truly deeply needs from a partner, from a man who says he loves her, from me. And the answer that came back was not the answer I wanted. The answer that came back was, not always, not completely, not in the ways that matter most. And I sat with that for a long time. I didn't run from it the way I usually do. I didn't distract myself or convince myself that I was doing my best, and my best was enough. I just sat there with the uncomfortable, honest truth of it. And I let it hurt me the way it needed to hurt me, because sometimes that's what growth feels like. Not inspiration, not motivation, just a quiet, private ache that says, you can do better than this. You need to do better than this. Because she deserves better than this. And that's when it hit me, really hit me, in the way that changes you. That love is not a feeling you have. Love is a choice you make, every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Love is not the butterflies at the beginning or the grand gesture on the anniversary. Love is what you do when you're tired. Love is what you choose when choosing is hard. Love is the decision, made quietly and without applause, to keep showing up, to keep trying, to keep being present even when presence is the last thing your exhausted self wants to offer. I hadn't been making that choice consistently, and I knew it, and sitting there in that quiet, I made a decision that I want you to know about. I made a decision to be different, Not perfect. I will never promise you perfect. But different, more intentional, more present. More honest about what I'm carrying so that I stop carrying it alone in ways that create distance between us. I decided to talk to you, like this. Fully, without the armor. And I know that might seem small to you. Just words, right? Just the man finally saying the things he should have been saying all along. But for me, for someone who was taught, somewhere along the way, that vulnerability is weakness, that saying too much makes you exposed, that keeping yourself contained is the safest way to move through the world. This is enormous. This is me dismantling something I've been building for years, brick by brick, taking down the wall, and doing it willingly, doing it for you, doing it because you are worth every terrifying, liberating brick. I want to tell you about the version of me that exists before I walk into any room you're in, the version you never see, the version that is quietly, constantly thinking about you, wondering how you are, noticing the small shifts in your energy that tell me something is off before you even say a word, replaying conversations we've had, turning them over in my mind like stones in a river, looking for what I missed, what I could have said better, what you were really asking for, when you said the thing you said. I am always thinking about you, even when it doesn't look like it. Even when I'm quiet or distracted or somewhere else in my head. Underneath all of that, in the deepest, most constant layer of my thinking, you are there. You are always there. I don't think I've ever told you that. How present you are in my mind, even when I'm not present with you in the way you deserve. How much of my mental and emotional landscape you occupy. How thoroughly, completely you have made yourself at home in me. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I want you there. I need you there. You are the voice in my head that keeps me honest. The face I think of when I'm about to make a decision and I ask myself, is this the kind of man she sees when she looks at me? Is this worthy of her trust? Is this something I'd be proud to tell her about? You make me better just by existing in my life. That's not a small thing. That's everything. I want to talk to you about something that I've been wrestling with for a long time. Something that I think sits at the heart of everything I've been saying today, underneath all the beautiful words and the honest confessions. Something raw. I am afraid sometimes of losing you. Not in a dramatic, catastrophic way. Not afraid of some external thing taking you away. I'm afraid of the slower kind of loss. The kind that happens so gradually you almost don't notice until one day you look up, and the distance between you has become something vast and quiet. And very hard to cross. I'm afraid of the version of us where we become strangers who are still together, where we share a life but not a soul, where familiarity has replaced intimacy and routine has replaced choice, and we're kind to each other but not close anymore, not really close, not in the way we are right now, in our best moments. That version of us terrifies me more than anything else I can think of. And I think that's why I'm saying all of this today. Because I don't want to wake up one day and realize I had you, really had you. And I let the distance grow because I was too proud or too scared or too stuck in my own patterns to say, I need you. I miss you even when you're right here. I want more of us. I want to protect what we have and build on it, and never ever take it for granted. You are not someone I take for granted. Please know that. Please hold on to that. Especially on the days when I'm not showing it the way I should. Underneath whatever is happening on the surface, underneath any silence or distance or difficulty, the foundation is this. I am in awe of you. I am grateful for you. I do not take you for granted, not for a single second, not even when I act like I might be. I remember, and this one is going to stay with me forever. I remember watching you when you thought no one was watching. You were doing something completely ordinary. I can't even tell you exactly what it was because, honestly, it doesn't matter. What matters is the way you were doing it, with this quiet, focused, entirely self-contained kind of presence. Like you were completely at peace in that moment, like you didn't need anything from anyone, like you were just fully, beautifully yourself. And I felt something I didn't have a word for then. I think I have one now. I felt witness, like I was being allowed to witness something true, something unperformed and unguarded and completely real. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Not because of how you looked, although you were beautiful, you're always beautiful, but because of what I was seeing. The real you. The unguarded you. The you that doesn't know she's being watched and so she's just free. I want more of that. I want to be the person you're most free around. The person in whose presence you don't have to perform or manage or carefully calibrate how much of yourself you let show. I want to be the one you just get to be with. Fully. Messily. Without editing. Because I love all of it. Every version. The put together version and the falling apart version. The laughing version and the crying version. The certain version and the completely lost version. I love the you that is brilliant and the you that makes mistakes. I love the you that is gracious and the you that is furious. I love the you that shows the world her best self and the you that only I get to see. The quiet, tired, real, human, tender you that exists behind all the strength. That you, the one behind all the strength, that's the one I think about the most. That's the one I worry about most. That's the one I want to make sure knows, beyond any possible doubt, that she is safe here, with me, that she never has to be stronger than she actually is, that she is allowed to need things, that she is allowed to be taken care of, not just be the one who takes care. Let me take care of you, please. Not in a way that makes you feel small or dependent, but in the way that real love works, where you take care of me and I take care of you, and it's not a transaction, it's just two people who have decided that the other person's well-being matters as much as their own. That kind of taking care, where you never feel alone in anything you're carrying because I'm right there beside you, carrying it with you. I should tell you about the thing I mentioned before, the thing I said I'd never told anyone, because I promised you I would, and I don't break promises to you, not the ones that matter. There was a time, not so long ago, though in some ways it feels like another lifetime, when I wasn't sure I was capable of this, of real love, of the deep, staying, committed, vulnerable kind. Not because I didn't want it. I wanted it desperately, in the way you want something you've never had, and don't fully believe you deserve. But I had spent so long protecting myself, so long keeping people at a careful, comfortable distance, being warm but not close, present but not open. Lovable, maybe, in a surface kind of way, but not truly known by anyone. Because being truly known is terrifying. Because if you let someone all the way in, if you show them everything, the beautiful parts, and the broken parts, and the parts you're still ashamed of, then they have the power to really hurt you. Not the surface kind of hurt, the kind you can recover from quickly. The deep kind, the kind that reaches the parts of you that don't heal easily, the kind that can change you. I was afraid of that. Deeply, quietly, consistently afraid of it. And so I kept my distance, even in relationships, even with people I cared about, even with people who deserved more from me than I was giving. I kept just enough of myself back that if it ended, I'd survive it. That if they left or changed or stopped choosing me, it wouldn't shatter anything essential. That was how I lived for a long time. And I thought it was fine. I told myself it was wisdom, self-protection, maturity even. Told myself that not everyone is worth full vulnerability, that keeping yourself safe is just practical, that love doesn't have to mean losing yourself. And then you happened. And every wall I had built, every careful boundary I had constructed, every beautifully designed defense, you walked right through it, not violently, not with any force. You didn't knock anything down, you just made it irrelevant. You made keeping you at a distance feel more painful than letting you in. You made self-protection feel like the loneliest thing I'd ever tried to do. Because being half present with you was worse than full exposure ever could have been. Because loving you from behind glass was its own kind of agony. Because you are exactly the kind of person that a guarded man has the hardest time with. Not because you push, but because you don't. You just love. Openly, genuinely, without demand or manipulation, you just love. And something about that, something about the simple, uncomplicated, unstrategic way you love, made all my walls feel absurd, made all my carefully constructed distance feel like the stupidest thing I had ever tried to maintain. So I let them down, slowly, brick by brick, like I said, terrified the whole time, waiting for the thing I was afraid of, the moment you'd see all of it and decide it was too much, the moment you'd have access to the real me and choose not to stay. That moment never came. You stayed. You saw and you stayed. And that specific, irreversible thing changed something in me permanently. Because I realized in that moment that the thing I had been most afraid of was actually the thing that would save me. That being known really fully, honestly known, was not dangerous. It was the only place I had ever felt genuinely safe. You gave me that. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You gave me safety. You, who I was supposed to be strong for. You, who I was supposed to protect and provide for and show up for. You gave me the one thing I had spent years trying to give myself, and never could. The feeling of being completely, unconditionally accepted. How do you thank someone for something like that? What words exist for that? I don't think they do. So instead, I'm trying to show you. This conversation, this opening up, this saying of all the things, this is me trying to show you. This is my thank you. This is me saying, you did something for me that nobody else has ever done, and I see it, and I don't intend to waste it. I intend to be worthy of it. And I want to tell you about the dreams I have. Not the sleeping kind, though you're in those too, more often than I'd probably admit in daylight. The waking kind. The ones I carry around during the day. The visions of the future that I hold quietly, because I'm still building toward them. Still becoming the version of myself that can give them to you. I dream about a life with you that is full of the good ordinary things. Not the extraordinary moments. The extraordinary moments are easy to dream about, easy to want. I dream about the ordinary. The mornings that start without urgency. The meals we cook together badly and laugh about. The trips we take to places neither of us has been, getting a little lost, figuring it out together. The evenings with nowhere to be, and nothing to prove, and just each other. And the kind of comfortable silence that only happens between people who are genuinely at peace in each other's presence. I dream about growing with you, not just growing old. That too, yes, but growing in the way that matters. Becoming better people. Becoming more ourselves, not less, because of each other. Becoming the kind of couple that other people look at and feel something warm, something hopeful. Not because we're perfect, but because it's obvious, just looking at us, that we chose each other. Really chose. Deliberately, consciously, on purpose. I dream about being someone you're proud of. Not proud of my achievements or my status or anything external. Proud of my character. Proud of who I am as a man. Proud of how I love you. I want to be someone you brag about, in the way you don't even realize you're bragging. Not because of what I've done, but because of who I am. Because of how I treat you. Because of the way I show up. I want to deserve that kind of pride from you. And I'm working on it. Even on the days when the working is invisible, when the growth is happening in ways you can't see yet. I am working. I am becoming. I am choosing, every single day, to be more of the man you deserve, and less of the man I was before I understood what love actually asks of a person. It asks everything, by the way. Real love asks everything. It asks you to be honest when you'd rather hide. It asks you to stay when leaving would be easier. It asks you to grow when growing is painful. It asks you to keep your heart open, even when open hearts are vulnerable to being hurt. It asks you to choose someone, over and over, in all the ordinary moments that nobody witnesses and nobody applauds. It asks you to love not because it's convenient or comfortable or reciprocated perfectly, but because you've decided that this person, this specific, irreplaceable, extraordinary person, is worth your whole heart. You are worth my whole heart. You have had it for longer than you know. And whatever comes next, whatever the next chapter of this story holds, whatever challenges and seasons and evolutions are ahead of us, I am going into all of it with my whole heart, not guarded, not half committed, fully in, fully present, fully yours. There's something else I need to say. Something that doesn't fit neatly into any of the 4 things I asked for, but that sits alongside all of them like the 5th unnamed thing, the thing underneath all the things. I see you when you're tired, and I mean really tired, not the surface tired that a good night's sleep fixes, but the bone-deep kind, the soul-tired kind, the kind that comes from giving so much of yourself, so consistently for so long, that you start to feel like maybe there's nothing left at the center, like maybe you've given it all out, and what remains is just this hollow, exhausted space, where you used to keep your reserves. I see that in you sometimes. And it breaks my heart in the most private, quiet way. Because you never complain about it. You never say, I'm running on empty, I need someone to fill me back up. You just keep going. Because that's what you do. Because somewhere along the way, You learned that your value was tied to your usefulness, to your productivity, to how much you could give. And so you give and give and give without asking for replenishment. I want to be your replenishment. That's something I think about deeply. How do I become the person who pours back into you what the world keeps taking out? How do I become a source of restoration for you, not another demand on your already depleted energy? How do I make sure that being with me adds to your life rather than subtracts from it? I don't always get that right. I know I don't. Sometimes I am another thing you're managing, another need you're tending to, another person looking to you to be strong, because you're always strong, and it seems like you can handle it. But I want to be the exception to that. I want to be the place where you don't have to be strong, the person you come home to, not in the sense of a building, but in the sense of a feeling. The feeling of home, the feeling that says, I can breathe here, I can be tired here, I can need things here, I can be human here, I want to be that for you. Tell me how to be that for you. Tell me what you need, and I will figure out how to give it. I am not too proud to learn. I am not too set in my ways to change. I am a man who loves a woman, and who is asking, genuinely, humbly, openly asking, what does she need that I'm not giving her yet, because I want to give it. Whatever it is, I want to give it. You know what I think about sometimes? I think about the version of you that existed before me. The you that was navigating life without any of this. Without us, without whatever we've built, without the specific texture of loving me and being loved by me. I think about who she was. What she was carrying. What she was hoping for. What she was afraid of. And I think, was she lonely? Was she okay? Was there someone looking out for her the way I want to look out for her now? I hope there was. I hope she had people who saw her. But I also know that there are kinds of loneliness that exist even in full rooms. Kinds of loneliness that exist even when you are surrounded by people who love you. The loneliness of not having the one specific person. The one who fits. The one who makes sense. The one who sees you in the particular, precise way that makes you feel less alone in the universe. I hope I'm that person for you. I hope that whatever loneliness you carried before, whatever quiet, unnamed ache for the right kind of connection, I hope some part of it has eased since I came into your life. I hope that being loved by me has given you something you needed. Because being loved by you has given me everything. I want to tell you one more thing before I get to the part of this I've been building toward. One more thing that I need you to hear and hold and carry with you on the days when you need it most. You are going to be okay. Whatever you're afraid of right now, whatever keeps you up at night, whatever sits heavy on your chest in the quiet moments, you are going to be okay. Not because life will be easy, not because everything will work out perfectly, but because you are the kind of person who finds a way, who digs deep when deep is required, who loves hard even when loving is risky, who keeps going even when going is the last thing you have the energy for. You are resilient in the most beautiful way. Not the brittle, armored, never let them see you break kind of resilience. The soft kind. The kind that bends without breaking. The kind that can be fully, completely hurt and they still choose to open again. That's rare. That's extraordinary. That's you. And on top of all of that, on top of your strength and your grace and your resilience and your extraordinary capacity to love, you have me standing right here, not going anywhere, not looking away, not deciding you're too much or not enough or any of the other lies that might try to find their way into your head on a hard day. You have me, completely. And I know that sometimes you have me doesn't feel like enough when what you're facing is big and scary and uncertain. I know that love doesn't pay all the bills or solve all the problems or make all the hard things easy. I know that. I'm not promising you that loving me makes life uncomplicated. Life is complicated. We are complicated. And navigating complicated things together is its own kind of challenge. But I am promising you this. You will never navigate anything alone again. Whatever comes, we face it together. Whatever breaks, we fix it together. Whatever questions don't have answers yet, we sit with the uncertainty together, side by side, not letting the not knowing become distance between us. Together. That's the word I keep coming back to. That's the word that lives at the center of everything I'm trying to say today. Together. And there's something coming in this story. Something I need to tell you about the night that changed everything between us. That I think will make all of this make even more sense. A moment that I have replayed in my memory more times than I can count. A moment that taught me, in a way I could not ignore or talk myself out of, exactly what I would lose if I ever lost you. Exactly what is at stake. Exactly why I will fight for this, for us, with everything I have, for as long as I'm breathing. I'm almost ready to tell you about it. But first, I need you to understand something. I need you to understand that everything I've said today, every confession, every admission, every raw and honest thing I've laid at your feet, it comes from a place of completeness, not desperation. This is not a man who is afraid. This is a man who is certain, certain of you, certain of this, certain that choosing you again and again, in all the ways love asks us to choose, is the best, wisest, most right thing he has ever done. I am certain of you the way I am certain of very few things in this life. And the story of that night, the night everything became irrevocably clear, is a story about what certainty feels like when it arrives. Not quietly, not gently, but like something breaking open, like light coming through a crack you didn't know was there, like finally understanding something you've been trying to understand for years, and having the understanding arrive, not as a thought, but as a feeling so complete, it takes your breath away. That feeling has a name. That feeling is you. And what happened that night, what I saw, what I understood, what I almost lost and then didn't, that is the part of this that I have never said out loud to anyone. The part that lives in the very deepest place inside me. The part that, when I finally tell you, will explain everything. Will explain why I love you the way I do. Will explain why I'm standing here today, saying all of this, being everything I used to be afraid to be. It will explain why you are not just the love of my life. You are the reason I stopped being afraid of my own life, and I'm going to tell you everything, all of it. What happened, what I felt, what it made me understand about love and loss, and what matters, and what doesn't, and why I will spend every single remaining day of my life, making sure you know, really know, in the place where knowing lives permanently, that you are chosen, adored, irreplaceable. Mine in the way that has nothing to do with possession and everything to do with belonging. You belong with me, and I belong with you.